That's the agreement that everybody says I don't have. So, no, because I'm going to let Mexico do the announcement at the right time. From Mexico, they want to go through, but here's the agreement. It's a very simple agreement. This is one page. This is one page of a very long and very good agreement for both Mexico and the United States. Without the tariffs, we would have had nothing. We had nothing 2 weeks ago. Mexico told us absolutely, I don't know where the Times got the story, but I think they got it probably for somebody that worked here and said, oh, how well they were doing. Well, for a long time, for many years, people tried to get what we got in a period of a couple of days, and they couldn't get it. That's the difference. They couldn't get it. So Mexico, we're getting along with them great. Marcelo and the president and all of them, we're getting along great. They've started a very strong action. They're moving right now 6,000 soldiers to their southern border. Who ever heard of that? You think we had that 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago, I'll tell you what we had. We had nothing. And the reason we had nothing is because Mexico felt they didn't have to give us anything. I don't blame them. But this is actually ultimately going to be good for Mexico, too. And it's good for the relationship of Mexico with us. So here's your thing. You know, they all say, oh, he does it. I just give you my word. Inside here, and I would love to do it, but you will freeze action it, you will stop it, you will analyze it, every single letter you'll see. But in here is the agreement.
Right here, I have a love letter from Blake Lively. It's a beautiful letter, and I'd show it to you, but she asked me not to. She wanted to be the one to make the formal announcement. That's about how ridiculous Trump's stunt was, proving he won his trade war with Mexico and was granted a slew of concessions. Trump says that 2 weeks ago we had nothing, a claim that has been debunked by both Mexican and American officials familiar with negotiations. While the joint declaration touts Mexico agreeing to the deployment of its National Guard throughout Mexico, giving priority to its southern border, this was already promised during talks that took place in March between then Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen and the Mexican Secretary of the Interior. Another cornerstone of the agreement was an expansion of a program that would have allowed asylum seekers to stay in Mexico while their asylum claims proceeded through the American court system. According to the New York Times, that arrangement was reached in December in a pair of painstakingly negotiated diplomatic notes that the two countries exchanged. Ms. Nielsen announced the migrant protection protocols during a hearing of the House Judiciary Committee 5 days before Christmas. But that hasn't stopped Trump from claiming victory, tweeting that he's very excited about the new deal with Mexico. Of course, this is a recurring theme with this president. In December, Trump had been ramping up a trade war with China, which devolved into the US slapping a 25% tariff on vehicles built in China, and China imposing a 40% tariff on US car imports. The two countries ultimately settled on an agreement that would bring the auto tariffs down to 15%, which was the exact level of auto tariffs before the trade war started. Trump even tweeted about it, touting the fact that China agreed to reduce and remove the 40% tariff on cars coming into China from the US. Only he failed to mention that the only reason they were so high was because of him, and that he didn't actually win anything. Think of it like this. Trump starts to set your house on fire. You're like, stop. He continues setting it on fire. You're like, okay, seriously, stop right this second. And then he finally stops, takes to Twitter and proclaims, I would like to formally announce that your house is no longer being set on fire. And then Republicans and the entire staff at Fox News throw him a parade for saving you from the inferno. And the point of all of this? Not like he has anything to distract from other than his impending impeachment. So yeah, I can't imagine why the president would concoct a trade war, send the economy into a tailspin, repurpose 3-month-old trade concessions, end the trade war he started, and declare victory. And to do it all for personal gain? Not Donald Trump. Here's the best part. Trump claims he's not going to show the top secret letter because the media will freeze frame it and analyze it, and he waves it around multiple times while saying that.
Inside here, and I would love to do it, but you will freeze action it, you will stop it, you will analyze it, every single letter you'll see.
Looks like he was right about one thing. A staff photographer for the Washington Post captured the image and was able to read at least one paragraph, the last one of the agreement. It says, the government of Mexico will take all necessary steps under domestic law to bring the agreement into force with a view to ensuring that the agreement will enter into force within 45 days. Which is not at all vague. That's honestly the most Trump sentence in an agreement ever. Guaranteed he ordered someone to take down his words verbatim as he wheeled off whatever fleeting thoughts the random synapses firing in his brain conjured up. And the result? Mexico will take the steps to bring into force to ensure the agreement will enter into force in 45 days, at which point they agree that the agreement will enter into force. Okay. Trump's reality show approach might have worked at NBC, but it's not cutting it in government. So while he used his deal with Mexico to distract from impeachment, it turns out that impeachment is still very much at the forefront. Only now his inability to strike a deal is, too.